Get those Cybermen out.
What's up guys, Sam from the Cybermen here. I'm doing a deck profile on my regional championship winning Cell Zeno deck. I have to give a shout out to Eggman, aka Hayden. He inspired me to play this. I saw him playing the version from with the Unison from the next set, and I thought that looks pretty good. And I looked at this, I looked at his list, and he really inspired me in some of my choices, so thanks for that, man. I know you follow our socials, so I hope you hear this. Maybe I'll at you somewhere. But I hope you guys enjoy this. Thanks for everybody's support. I've got a lot of messages, so that's really nice. And I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe as always, and we'll be back soon with some gameplay from that tournament as well. Here's the deck list. Alrighty, so we have the Cell Surge leader. This guy has an Activate main that lets you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose one card, any card, and add it to your hand, which means you don't have to show your opponent what that is, and then drop a card from your hand. So the reason this leader works so well with this deck is because there are so many pieces. It's a very combo-centric deck, and this allows you to dig deep into your deck to find it. The fact that you don't plus off it is a problem unless, which you want to have in your first hand, we run 4 of the Cell the Dark Parasite. This is a multicolor, trying to get it where you can actually see. There we go. Bloody light is not good in here. SR, this guy, you place him in the drop after grabbing a card from the top 5. When he's in the drop area, you may send him to the warp to draw 1 card. So that gives you a plus for the turn, which the leader didn't have before this came out. And then you may choose 1 card in your life to add to your hand as well. So it gives you another plus. The cool thing is you need to be at 4 life with this leader to use its surge effects. And because on turn 3 you want to be potentially or essentially ending the game, you really want to awaken pretty quickly. So this helps you do that. I run that at 4. I usually try and get 1 in my opening hand if I can, just so I can start plussing straight away. Next, we have the first part of our swap chain. 4 times Grandpa Gohan. This guy, I mean, I don't really need to tell you what he does. He is 1 cost blocker, and he swaps. So he swaps into the 2 cost. Sometimes I leave him out to block if I'm playing something that I know doesn't have easy access to removal and I need a defense and I don't have a negate in my hand. I will leave this guy out. Sorry, this shouldn't be here. Let's go with the 2 cross now. So I run 4 of Scrambling Assault Sun Goten. This guy needs no introduction as well. He was very powerful back in the day with the swap Storm deck. He is a 2 cost Goku's lineage, so you swap into him with this guy. When he attacks, he's a 10k. You can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 to your hand, any card, just like the leader, so you can grab whatever you need, and then bottom deck the others. So it's really good. Again, searching, you get to find your victory strike, any piece that you need at the time. Awesome. The problem with him used to be that he doesn't swap, but now with another card in the deck, you can use him as a swap piece. Then I run 2 of Gohan, Intrepid Dynasty Sun Gohan. This guy is a barrier. He serves the same purpose as this with less search. If I'm playing against something that I know has removal, usually red or even green, then I won't play this guy. I'll play him. I only run 2 of him because he is searchable with Successor of Hope. Also, if you don't draw into this, then you can search for him. Funnily enough, I played the Gohan more often than this guy because a lot of the time I saw the pieces I needed, so I didn't need the extra search, and I would rather not be as vulnerable as having that out. But it was good to deal with unisons and things like that. Next up, we have the next part of the engine, which is the new card from the EB. This is Super Saiyan Son Goku, Even Further Beyond. Super Saiyan 3, sorry. Very nice card, by the way. So he has Barrier, he has Swap 3, And you can tap one card, activate main from hand, send a 2-cost Goku's lineage, so one of these two, to hand and play him. And you may choose up to one card in your life and put it in your hand, which is awesome because, again, it's more self-awakening that this helps you with too. You really need to get, or I say self-awakening, it's Surge, you can awaken anytime, but you need to get to 4 so that you can use your Surge ability ASAP and also turn your super combos on. So I play him at 4, of course. He is searchable with Successor as well, but you really want to draw into that guy pretty quickly. Next up we have, I'm just going to show you these, they're out of order, but Height of Mastery Son Goku, everybody knows this card as well. This is, I didn't play this, even in my testing I never got this guy out, but he is kind of an alternate win con if you can't get to Victory Strike. I play the Path to Greatness in here as well to bring him out. But the worst case, he is a 10k combo or he's a Universe 7 to discard. I honestly might take these out and focus more on some 5k Universe 7s, but we'll see. Next up, we have, and I'm going to skip through this to here to go back to the chain. Did not organize that well, did I? We have 4 of the Pan Courageous Youth. This is, again, from the Evolution Booster. She is a 5-cost, so you swap into her with this guy, tapping 3. When you play her, she has Deflect, which is really good. So if your opponent doesn't know the deck well and they Trunks the swap, you just play this and the Trunks is wasted. When you play her with swap, you look through your deck to play 1 5-cost Goku's Lineage and then 1 from your hand with a different name with their keyword skills negated. So they can't swap that turn, they can't double strike or whatever they have, but their autos still go off, which is actually relevant. This is, funnily enough, not as crucial in the next build with the Unison that is coming out soon. But in this build, you need this card. So this is one that even mulligan, because it doesn't have swap. You can't search for it with Successor. You need one of these. Otherwise, you're kind of not in the best place. You can still swap into a 5-cost, to be fair, but it's much nicer to have 2 on board for the Frieza counterplay, because this card turns off Frieza counterplay pretty much. You're playing her and you're playing 2 Gokus. They can kill one of them. It doesn't do too much to your plan, which is good. So I run, first of all, 3 of the Abrupt Breakthrough Son Goku. Funnily, really funny, and I only just realized when playing this deck that this is a 27k, which is very random. And it can be pretty relevant if you're trying to clear board, which you do sometimes if you want to use your Surge skill. He's got Swap 4, but obviously when he's played, his keyword skills are negated. He also has Barrier, same deal with that. This one you're usually playing from hand because he has swap, so you can search for him with Successor of Hope. The other 5-drop doesn't have swap, so you can't search for that one. He also has auto that when one of your Goku's Lineage with 5 or more is removed, you can play it for free, but I've never used that. I don't think that is very relevant, to be honest. And then the one that you usually play from deck, again, that doesn't always happen, is Ultimate Form Son Goku. Important to note that the reason, other than the fact that it doesn't have swap, the other reason that you play this from the deck is that if you have 3 or less life, he becomes a 4-cost. You can't play him off pan when he's a 4-cost. So you want to try and keep one of these in deck to play in case that's the case, which does happen a bit where I'm at 3 life. That means I would not be able to play him from my hand. He's got Double Strike, but he... that gets negated when it's played for the turn. If he is on the board next turn, you can use it, but usually this is the one I evolve onto. When he's played, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. If it was in rest mode, you draw a card. So usually hitting a rest mode card with this, you can hit a blocker if they have a lot of blockers on board, which tended to happen. I think there are a lot of decks that play blockers at the moment. But I usually would hit a rest mode card just for the extra draw. The other thing is, this is the one you usually evolve Hope of Universe 7 on, because this guy has swap 8 for 4 energy. So if you don't kill your opponent that turn, you can leave him on board. He's got Barrier, swap into Height of Mastery as well. Then we have 2 of Son Goku, Path to Greatness. This guy is pretty much in the deck because it's a Universe 7 that is searchable with Successor. You can also play it into him, but again, I did not use Hope of... what the hell is this guy's name? Height of Mastery. Too many Gokus, I'm getting confused. I didn't use Height of Mastery the whole tournament, so I only used this as a Universe 7 to discard for this guy. So Hope of Universe 7, he is an 8-cost green Universe 7 Goku. He evolves on top of a 5-cost Universe 7, so either of these two Goku for 1 energy and discarding 2 Universe 7 cards. So these guys, any of these guys, even himself, which happened a lot because I have 4. I run them at 4. They're not searchable other than with the leader and Goten. And you really want to see it. Also, it's green for your leader skill. You have a few sources of green like this, super combos, which I'll get to. And you need a green in your hand, obviously, for the Surge. I had to do super combos a couple of times. Actually, another shout out to Eggman. I tested with his idea of having the starter deck Piccolo, which is a 2-drop Universe 7, and Assimilate in the deck to find another green or find another Universe 7. That worked really well, but I needed to remove it just because I wanted to play some sneaky side deck cards in my main deck, because this was best of 1. So I play 4 of those. You usually play him. He's triple attack crit. And when he attacks, every attack, not just once per turn, you can either choose one of your opponent's battle cards or a card from their hand and place it in the drop. So this is excellent for removing blockers and also for just dropping your opponent's hand a bit. Sometimes I wouldn't attack with it if I know my opponent might have a rival or activate battle effects. Usually I would only attack into battle cards or unisons, preferably unisons, because they obviously can't have a defense phase, they can't combo, they can't do any sneaky stuff. So if they did have a unison on board, most of the time I would attack with it, unless I think they might have Violent Rays, then I wouldn't. Dormant, I still attack with it because I can just attack once, at least drop a card from their hand or KO a blocker, and then go into Victory Strike. So next up, I have 4 Successor of Hope, which is a given. This one searches for any swap piece with 5 or less. So it doesn't search for any Goku's lineage that doesn't have swap, like this guy. It doesn't search for Pan, because Pan doesn't have swap, but it searches for this Goku, it searches for your 1-drop and your 2-drop, which you really need, and the 4-cost, of course. It was funny, in the final, which I might put up on my channel, I didn't see any swap pieces or these for the first 2 turns. So I thought I was done for. I was just lucky to get out of that, which I'll talk about if I commentate that game. 4 of those. So super combos. Again, when I was playing the build that that Eggman inspired me to, I played 2-2. I played 2 of the Paragus and 2 of the Piccolo super combo from set 5, I believe. Because that was searchable with Assimilate, but because I took Assimilate out, I swapped to 4 Paragus. This is obviously the best green super combo. I mean, nothing needs to be said about that, really. It's also green for the leader if, worst case, you need to use it for Surge, which I actually did in the final. I surged with this because I didn't have anything else that I could use. Now into my janky side. So I removed a bunch of cards, Assimilate the Piccolo so that I could play these, because I felt like having these would be better than having the extra U7, and it did work out for me in the end. Funnily enough, I put Dark Marseille in here, 2 of those, because of all the King Piccolos and Red Brolys and things that would be tough for me to go up against, and I didn't play any of them, so I was happy that I didn't. Just meant that I never actually played this card out, so it was a waste of space. So maybe I should have run the other one. I played 2 Tyrannical Blows. Again, this is mostly for King Piccolo, but also for Red Broly. This card is really good against King Piccolo and Red Broly because it negates the skills of the Unison as well. So any card that's played with 3 or less negate its skills, and then negate the skills of the Unison. So against Red Broly, it stops them from using that Unison to stuff you with the Pan and things like that. And in Piccolo, it stops them from using it to wipe your board. Then I played 2 Nimbus. 2 different types. Nimbus is obviously a good negate. In this format, it's not as amazing as some of the other Floodgates because your opponent has Unisons now. They can attack a few more times. But in the times I used it, most of the time I didn't need to negate, because if I went first in a lot of my games, and if I go first, it's hard for my opponent to kill me by on their turn 2 most of the time. But I did use it a couple of times against things like Dark Broly. Then I run 1 counter cooler, which I didn't play. I didn't use at all. Again, I've got a couple of one-offs in here, but it's because if I really need something, I can top 5 and usually hit it. Cooler's really good if I don't get my combo Victory Strike off until turn 4, which happens sometimes, because then I have 3 energy open and I can stop things like Violent Rays, which is awesome. I played 1 of Vegeta's Final Flash. This card actually won me a game. My opponent was playing Bulma, and he attacked with his leader into something. I think it was just one of my battle cards, and then he played the Kai SCR, and he would have wiped my board. I had Hope of Universe 7 on board. He had Violent Raised me, so I couldn't Victory Strike him. And then during that same battle, I Vegeta's Final Flash that Kai that he played, so he couldn't use it to kill me, which was very, very lucky. I think he probably could have got game if I didn't do that. And I run a Time Magic at 1. Again, this is just for the mirror match, actually, because I know, and I do it, attack with Hope of Universe 7 to try and kind of clear blockers, to try and drop hand before playing Victory Strike. This guy would stop it from restanding and save me the turn pretty much. So I did have it at 1. I think I only used it once, and I didn't play a mirror match anyway. And the final card, I'm going to show you I'm going to flex a little bit here. The final card I played was Victory Strike. I actually borrowed a friend's copy because I've only got this PSA 10. I sold my Raw, so I borrowed my copy off a friend. Luckily I did, because that was very helpful. I have to say, this deck is extremely strong. It is very, very consistent. I run 54 cards, and even with 54 cards, it was super consistent. I think I didn't get my pieces by turn 3 one of the games, which just happened to be the final. I didn't actually get to play my 1-drop Gohan into anything until turn 3, but I still managed to pull that one out of my ass, so it was good. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll put the deck list in the description as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Message me, comment. Thanks for all the love. I got a bunch of messages today. Thanks for that, guys. I am the regional champion again. I think it's the same time last year, the first regionals of the year. So it feels good to do that in the first tournament. And I promised on stream that I will be playing Nappa in the next regionals now that I've won this one. So I hope you enjoy that. That'll be a lot of fun. Cheers, guys.